The Adventure of Spot the Dog and Shadow the Cat. Once upon a time, in a magical forest where every leaf shimmered like stars and the songs of birds echoed like gentle melodies, there lived two very special friends, Spot the Dog and Shadow the Cat. Their cozy little home stood at the edge of the forest, simple but warm. They lived in peace and happiness, sharing meals and stories of their own adventures. Every morning, Spot would run around the forest to exercise, while Shadow preferred lounging on the porch, engrossed in reading books about magic and ancient legends. Though they were different in many ways, they understood each other deeply and always supported each other no matter what. One afternoon, as Shadow was reading an old book, she came across a page that spoke of the wish crystal, a magical gem that could grant any wish. According to the book, the crystal lay deep in the dark forest, a place no one dared to enter due to the terrifying creatures that guarded it. Spot, full of curiosity and courage, immediately suggested going on a quest to find the crystal. "If we have the wish crystal, Shadow, we can make all our dreams come true. Just think of all the things we could do," Spot said excitedly. Shadow, always cautious and thoughtful, replied, "But Spot, the dark forest is full of dangers. Our lives are already good as they are. Do we really need a crystal to change anything?" Spot remained determined. "I know, but if we had the crystal, we could protect this forest forever from any threats. Besides, this will be a great adventure, and we'll do it together." Eventually, Shadow, though still worried, couldn't refuse her friend, especially seeing how passionate Spot was. They decided to pack their belongings and set off the next morning. The first challenge, crossing the great river. After leaving their cozy home, they walked for hours until they came across a wide, rushing river blocking their path. The water flowed rapidly, and neither of them could see how to cross. Spot didn't know how to swim and was afraid of the water. "How are we going to get across?" Spot asked, clearly puzzled. Shadow squinted and examined the surroundings. She quickly spotted some large trees nearby that could be used to build a raft. "Wait, Spot. I have an idea," Shadow said confidently. The two worked together, cutting down trees and binding them together to form a sturdy raft. With Shadow's meticulous nature, she expertly steered the raft across the swift currents. Though the raft swayed violently, they managed to cross safely. The next challenge, the dark forest. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the once familiar and comforting surroundings turned eerie. The deeper they went, the thicker the trees grew, blocking out sunlight. Strange noises echoed around them, sometimes the rustling of leaves, other times the wind howling through hollow trees. Both felt an invisible fear looming over them. "We're being watched," Shadow whispered, her ears twitching as she listened intently. Suddenly, red eyes appeared from the darkness, making Spot leap back in surprise. "Who's there?" Spot barked, but there was no response. Shadow, more composed, realized that the red eyes were just tricks of light reflecting off the eyes of some owls hiding in the trees. "It's nothing, Spot. Just some owls. We don't need to be afraid." Thanks to Shadow's insight, they passed through the dark forest without falling into any traps or dangers. However, they both knew this was just the beginning of their journey. The hardest challenge, the Beast's Cave. After several days of traveling, they arrived at a rocky area filled with large caves. According to the ancient book, they would face a giant stone beast that could transform into any creature it saw. As they entered one of the caves, the air grew cold and the atmosphere more menacing. From the shadows emerged a towering beast. It had no fixed form, constantly shifting between a dragon, a lion, and a massive bird. "Who dares enter my domain?" the beast growled, its voice echoing through the cavern. Spot and Shadow knew this was one of their greatest challenges yet. The beast wasn't just strong, but intelligent, able to outwit its opponents by changing into whatever form was most threatening. But Shadow, quick-witted as always, came up with an idea. "We don't need to fight it, Spot. Let's use our brains," Shadow whispered in Spot's ear. Instead of attacking, they mimicked the beast's behavior, creating illusions of their own forms, confusing the beast. While the beast was bewildered, Shadow found the exit, and the two quickly escaped. Facing the three-headed dragon, after days of enduring hardships, they finally reached the misty valley where the wish crystal was hidden. But standing before them was the final challenge, a massive three-headed dragon guarding the crystal. The dragon spoke, "Only those who show true courage, wisdom, and friendship can pass." Spot, though terrified by the sheer size of the dragon, stepped forward bravely. "I'm not afraid of you, because I have my friend Shadow with me. We've overcome so many challenges together through our unity and intelligence. We don't need the crystal to make our dreams come true because this adventure has already shown us the true value of friendship." The dragon, surprised by Spot's courage and honesty, posed them one final test. They could take the crystal and make their wishes come true, or they could leave without the crystal but be granted an even greater treasure. Spot and Shadow looked at each other, then made their decision together. "We don't need the crystal. We've learned that friendship and the experiences we've shared are more important than any wish." With that, the dragon vanished, leaving behind a warm glow and a deep sense of fulfillment. They had overcome everything, not just through strength, but through friendship and wisdom. When they finally returned to their little home on the edge of the forest, they realized that sometimes the most precious things aren't those you can hold in your hand, but the experiences and lessons life gives you. From that day on, Spot and Shadow lived happily together, no longer worrying about magic or far-off dreams, for they already had everything they needed, true friendship and understanding. Moral of the story: friendship, courage, and wisdom are the keys to overcoming any challenge in life. Like and subscribe to the channel for more stories. Goodbye and see you next time.